A new video released by terrorists that kidnapped the victims of the Kaduna-Abuja train has shown how the abducted victims were being assaulted and flogged amidst tears and agony. The victims were seen in the video begging their oppressors as they were indiscriminately whipped by unmasked and masked men who surrounded them. The video also showed that the women watching in agony. How agonizing can it be being abandoned by your government? Security consultant Stephen Okwori joins us to share his thoughts. Good morning and thank you for joining us on Daybreak again.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, before we go into the discussion, let's play you this report.
The recent video in circulation showing the terrorists flogging their hostages sent fears to the minds of not just the relatives but also angered the youth in Kaduna State. The protesting youth blocked Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway to show their anger.
Yesterday, when I saw that video, I was shocked.
We are in a state of coma when we had that shock news. For 125 days now, our people are under the captivities of kidnappers, and the government could not take an action.
Relatives of the victims also said despite effort to facilitate the rescue of their loved ones, the authority concerned restricted them.
Those that are holding our our brothers and sisters and mothers and aunts, call us to come and pick some of the sick among us, and unfortunately, the organs of the government deny us the opportunity to get them back with us. It is quite touching. I couldn't believe it.
We are ready for any demand they will want from us. It's just that because we are being restricted by certain people, that is why we are calming things down.
Dukurmamu was in the forefront of the negotiation with the terrorists, which led to the release of some. React to this video in circulation.
Killing of innocent victims, notwithstanding your religion, is not a problem to them. So, and that is why it surprises me when this kind of threats is being taken lightly by the federal government, because these are people that can inflict harm, that can kill at any slightest provocation. So why must we wait, for example, until when we started recording casualties?
It's over 3 months since the terrorists attacked Abuja Kaduna train, killing some and abducting several others. While others were released, several others are still held captives.
We have in the studio Mr. Stephen Okwori, security analyst and also consultant, to discuss this, the fallout from this video released over the weekend. What in your, came to you first, watching that video, which came out, in the early hours of Sunday or late Saturday?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to share my view about this same topic. I was here in your studio some couple of weeks ago to talk about this same issue when the last video before the one of yesterday was released. I talked about government's procrastination, the way and manner they were going about the negotiation. For me, when I was here the last time, I said it was slow. The government has found themselves in this situation where they must have to negotiate or dialogue with the bandits or the terrorist groups. Anywhere in the world, it is there's a bad or a moral argument that governments should not dialogue or negotiate with bandits because of certain things that comes with it. It encourages them, it emboldens them. They use whatever resources they make from that negotiation to acquire more arms and ammunition to see how to even further the way they hurt citizens in the country. But as it is now, this video did not come to me as a surprise. The bargaining power that the government had during the negotiation, they have lost it. because what the terrorists were asking for were the release of the 65 commanders and their financiers that they had in the Kuje prison. As it is, they have found their way to see how to release them. So the government is now at their mercy.
All right, now we also have, the terrorists saying that, they're vowing to slay some and also sell others if the federal government doesn't, meet their demands in 1 week. And on the other hand, we have the government, that's the presidency, saying they will not succumb or give in to propaganda. After 1 week, if nothing is done, what happens?
I don't think that's propaganda, because we have seen where the terrorist group have made this same statement and they still carried out what they said, So for me, it is not a propaganda. It's if the government does not succumb to what they are asking for, then it means they are going to carry out what they have said in their statement or in the video. We saw in the Chibok girls period or era where some of the girls were sold off, some were married forcefully and all that. So these things or these statements that comes from them, I don't think it's a propaganda, because they have the knife and the yam at the same time as we're talking, and they don't have anything at stake. They have kept them for close to 125 days or more. So they don't have anything to lose. So for me, it's not a propaganda. For me, it's for the government to see how to meet up and see how to release the victims that are there.
It's been 120 days. What do you think, especially for families of these victims, and also for the victims themselves, being in detention, in captivity, of terrorists for 120 days? That's 4 months. Does it look like the government has abandoned these people?
From the look of things, if you recall, in the month of June, the president gave a marching order to the relevant agencies, the security agencies, to see how to secure their release. This is a month gone plus, and nothing is happening, So I think that when they had the bargaining power, they would have hurriedly carried out the dialogue or the negotiation, because right now they don't have that, So what the government needs to put on board now is to see how to secretly pay ransom, because that is what the terrorists are asking for. When initially they weren't asking for ransom, they were asking for exchange, a swap. Get us our commanders, we'll release these victims. Right now, they don't have that, so they are asking for ransom, So what option or alternative does the government have this time around?
Okay, now you talked about the presidency, giving the order to security outfits to make sure they end terrorism. And, as it is, some governments have actually started banning motorcycles, and also mining activities as a solution to insecurity in their states. Yeah. Do you think that will help?
How can it help? It can't help. You see, when I hear certain decisions like this, I begin to wonder. You have the majority of Nigerians that rely on motorcycles as a means of transport. You are coming to say you want to ban motorcycle, the use of motorcycle in a country like Nigeria, a third world country. You see, when decision makers sit down and take such decisions, I begin to wonder whether they thought deep, or whether they are even professional about it. This thing is simple for me. The terrorist group, they have their kind of bikes that they use. The bikes that can travel around the forest, they can carry up to 3-4 persons on top of it and all that. We can develop a policy, a motorbike policy in this country where certain kind of bikes can be used, and it's only those bikes that will be licensed to be imported into the country. These bikes are not that strong enough that can carry up to 3, 4, 5 persons on it, and they can ride through the forest. Such policy can be applied. When importers import this kind of bikes that have low strength, they don't have the capacity or the capability to move up to 4, 5 persons on top of it at the same time. It can work. Any other bike outside these bikes that the government will now approve to be used as the means of transport within Nigeria, it can be seized or something, But coming up to say that they want to ban bikes, the use of bikes in the country, I don't think it augurs well. Even the citizens have started complaining already. So for me, I think they need to be professional about it. They should think deep to see how to solve these issues, not by banning bikes.
So in the same video released, at the weekend, the terrorists also threatened to abduct President Buhari, Vice President. They name names and all that. What do you think, is giving them that confidence to even, dare the president and threaten him?
What's giving them the confidence? When couple of weeks ago we heard that they attacked his convoy, they attacked we heard it's no longer in use when we hear that they attacked the convoy of governors like the governor of Zamfara and all that. What do you call it? Governor of Bronu, So if they have the means and capacity to attack their convoys, it means that they can get to them at any time they want to get to them. You see, these people are daredevils. They have made up their minds. They are even ready to die in carrying out such attacks. But I put it to you that even the people that are protecting the president and the governors and all that in their convoy, how many of them are willing to die? When they know that if they die, their families are even going to suffer for it. We don't celebrate them in this country. You understand? We don't celebrate them in this country. So most of them are not even willing to die for the sake of a president or the governor of a country. But the people that are even daring them now are even ready to die. So you can see the difference. So when they make such statement, we should not wave it by the hand or the fingers, because it's possible that they can do it.
Okay, I actually want to believe you said that these bandits can actually take the fight to the government officials.
Yes.
So I actually want to believe that if they can do that, so can these government officials actually take the fight to them. But why do you think they've been unable to take this fight, go to their enclaves and also wipe them off?
You see, they keep talking about collateral damage, that the innocent
hostages might suffer.
might suffer for it, But there are tactical ways they need to go about it if they are really into what they are doing. Now, if we are not used to the hostage negotiation or going into their enclaves to see how to get victims out of there are countries that have succeeded in doing that. Terrorism is not new. There are countries that have experience in tackling such issues. But by the time you begin to tell security agencies in Nigeria to see how to seek for help, foreign help, they begin to tell you about national pride. Talking about national pride when you cannot rescue victims. As I speak to you here, the federal government girls' college in Yauri, some of them are still in captivity. These are about 14 months gone. The better college, there are still some of them there. So what is wrong with seeking for foreign help to see how to get these hostages out of captivity? When it comes to security of lives and property, you are talking about foreign help. You are denying that we need. You are talking about you are talking about national pride. But when it comes to your health, you don't talk about national pride. They fly out to go and treat themselves and come back. When it comes to lives and property, we are talking about national pride. But when it comes to education, they take their children out of this country to go and school abroad. Come on. We need foreign help. It's not about national pride. And the way and manner to go about it is technology. You have to apply technology in trying to see how to achieve this result. The foreign help will come. They will teach us on way and manner to go about it. There are tactics in negotiations. There are methods that you need to embark on in negotiation or trying to rescue victims from hands of kidnappers. If we don't know it, then we should seek for foreign help.
But this foreign help,
yes,
there are times that I think the security agencies are saying that these countries are not willing to help. Do you think that there is change in attitude in terms of the response of of other countries to helping Nigeria resolve this problem?
I don't think the countries are not willing. It is our own attitude towards it. If we go genuinely that this is what we seek for, they will come to our aid. I've watched the National Security Advisor on TV was talking about national pride at the detriment of lives. Recently, I saw where some foreigners were here in the country trying to see how to curtail the oil region, this oil theft and all that. They came to see how to assist us in trying to see how to tackle the situation. So if it comes to this, why won't we invite them to come and see how to assist us in doing it?
Okay, now we've actually heard, a lot of talk about the military, being overstretched, especially the major paramilitary institutions that we have in Nigeria. Now, what, are the implications of this?
If they are overstretched, the implication is that they are overworked. What do we need? We need to recruit more of the youths that we have to be able to carry out this task of trying to protect citizens and the property, the lives of citizens and property in this country. The number is small. But we have said this times without number. The number is small. They need to increase the boots on the ground, both in the military and the police. We have over 200 million Nigerians, and we have about 1 million security personnel put together. How possible is that? And even out of this very minimal or meager number of the police that we have, for instance, we have less than 400,000 police officers in this country. Even out of the 400,000 or less than 400,000 that we have, how many do we have that are even policing innocent citizens like you and I? Vast majority of them are policing VIPs, government officials, churches, mosques, individuals that are wealthy and all that. Majority of this number are protecting these people. Then the over close to 200 million are just left without being policed. So we need to recruit more of personnel to be able to see that the current ones that we have are not overwhelmed or overstretched. So that's the solution to that. We need to recruit more. Anywhere in the world, security is not cheap. And we have the resources to be able to take care of all this that we are talking about.
But, talking about resources and security not being cheap, one issue or one criticism about security spending is that a lot of times it ends up in private pockets.
That's the problem. It ends up in a private pocket. You agree with me that since the fight against insecurity started, a lot of these security officers have become very wealthy people, They divert these funds to their pockets.
So what do we do to tackle that, to ensure that the money is meant for security go into, financing security?
There should be proper accountability check, And for that to work, we need an outsider. This proper accountability check now should be done by people that are not working in that agency, But if you allow people that are working in that same agency or institution, you cannot get results because they will want to close the ranks, of their bosses that are taking this money and all that. Even them partaking in it, So we need an independent body outside the institutions to be able to check to see that the monies that are being released, right from the Ministry of Finance or wherever it gets to them, that it's been properly followed and used judiciously for the purpose that it was released. But in the situation where you don't even have something like that, how do you expect that these monies are not diverted? Nigerians are very terrible people, I'm sorry to say. Even in all of this, they still derive means to see how to siphon this money at the detriment of the citizens that they are being saddled with the constitutional responsibility to protect.
Okay, now it's actually one thing for the presidency to ask, security, outfits to make sure that they end terrorism. Yes. But how do we push and how do we establish a sense of urgency?
You see, every Nigerian citizen, any office that you find yourself, be it small or big, it's a leadership position. So you must have to assume that leadership position. You must see yourself as a leader, So people that are saddled with these responsibilities of trying to see that the economy works well, because in a country where the economy works well, it booms and all that, there will be less security challenges. But situations where the economy does not work well, of course, insecurity will raise its head. So these two, security, economy, must complement themselves, Farmers no longer go to the farm. Prices of goods are very expensive now because there is less production. You know, why are they not going to the farms? Lack of insecurity. So supposing there's security for lives and they go to their farms, of course they will produce. But right now, it's not happening like that. They are scared of going to their farms. So anybody that is found in a position to see that Nigeria is better, both economically, security-wise, and otherwise, they must have to take that job, you know, to the best of their ability. But are we finding ourselves in that situation? The moment they assume such position, they begin to look at what they will steal. Personal interest, personal gains comes to their mind. And they are not punished if they are found wanting in carrying out this tax. Rather, they are either promoted or retained, you know. They are not suspended, they are not sacked. Penalty is not the order of the day. So when somebody fails, and you have established that the person has failed, you sack the person. The next person that comes on board will sit up, will know that the government in power does not tolerate. But here, we begin to play politics with it. Sentiment, ethnicity. He's from the north, he's from the east, he's from the south. Why? So, leaders must be punished for lack of failing in their responsibilities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Okori. And we've been, for viewers who are just joining us, we've been discussing the aftermath or the fallout of the release of the kidnappers, video of kidnappers of the Kaduna Abuja train attack. And the discussion will continue after this short breather.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're still watching Daybreak on Trust TV, and we're talking about insecurity in Nigeria and the fallback, of the viral video of, the Kaduna Abuja, victims that were abducted, being flogged. And in the studio, we still have our security consultant, Stephen Okori, talking about this with us. Now, Mr. Stephen, sometimes security agents are actually fingered in some of these, crimes. Now, if this is actually the case, will Nigerians actually, will they see an end? Will there be an end to, this, incidents?
There seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel, because the ability to be able to fish out these bad eggs within the system is even a difficult task for them, because where manner they go to see how to connive or plan with these criminal elements, we don't even have that information, except on very rare occasions where such information gets to the authority, either the police or the military and all that. But I think that there's a lot that the military or the security agencies needs to do. Even in recruiting, there's a lot that they need to do, which has to do with background check. When they want to recruit, for instance, they need to do proper background check, go to the various communities and see that these people that they want to employ or recruit don't have a questionable character within their communities, because the traditional rulers within these communities, or imams or pastors within our various communities, should have an idea of who has questionable character or not. So all that needs to be taken into check, and the security agencies need to sit up. What I mean, they need to sit up, because there are bad eggs, whether we like it or not. There are bad eggs that are compromising. The Kuje break, some were fingered that they compromised, So all that needs to.
Okay, still talking about these bad eggs, can you quickly share your thoughts on, the turbaning of a bandits leader in Zamfara State? What actually came to your mind? Because a lot of people, have actually said it time and again that these communities are the ones who shield these bandits.
You see, on the Zamfara issue, or the turbaning of that bandit kingpin, it's very disappointing. It was in the news that he was going to be turbaned. During the turbaning ceremony, over 100 bandits were there to celebrate with him. It was also in the news. Then after the turbaning ceremony, the police in Zamfara now came and declared him wanted. If you look at his picture in that turbaning ceremony, you see a police officer behind him. Who is fooling who in this country? When you had the opportunity of arresting him there, you did not arrest him. After a day, he was turbaned, you came declaring him wanted. Do they think that we are fools in this country? I don't think we are serious in trying to see how to handle these issues we are talking about here. How can you have a police officer behind him? If you see this picture, you see a police officer behind him. He wasn't arrested then. You are coming to tell us that he has been declared wanted. So I think all these things, the security agencies need to come out plain and be truthful in what they are doing, in the fight against insecurity. You see, and let me add, beyond what the government is doing, I think there is need for the citizens to see how to take care or take charge of their personal security and safety. How do we do this? Technology. There are a lot of companies that are trying to come up with different means of trying to see how individuals protect themselves. For instance, my own company with a company in the US, we're trying to come up with something, with a device that once you have it on your phone, you can be easily noted, or your location will be known. There are a lot of individual or single kidnapping that is happening in this country that we don't even have an idea of how, except their family members that know that their loved ones have been kidnapped. It's this group kidnapping that is always in the news that people are aware of. But there are individuals that are being kidnapped on a daily basis in this country. So if you have such device on your phone or wherever, your location can be known, and with collaboration with the Nigerian police, they can trace and know your location, and you can be released.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Okori, security consultant, for being with us and sharing your thoughts on these very important issues around security in the country. We hope to have you another time, when the opportunity provides itself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me again.
Okay, so we'll have a quick break, then when we return, we go into our second discussion on the program. Do stay with us.